It's the most wonderful time of year, so the old Andy Williams song goes, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you, be of good cheer. Christmas is a time of joy, of peace, of family, of good news. And it will be this year too, one way or the other. What is there not to love about Christmas? And for Christians most especially and most extraordinarily, it's the time when we give thanks for the simple but amazing fact that divine love made itself known that first Christmas in the person of Jesus. And yet, for some people in our parishes, in our communities, in our churches, there is no peace on earth. There is certainly no goodwill, especially not in their own homes. The place most of us rightly associate with safety and with love will be instead a place of fear, of tension, and often of outright violence. Violence in the home, domestic violence is a misnomer. It is a crime. Violence in the home has its causes, and that's maybe a different reflection. But it also has its triggers, contexts which make the vulnerable even more so. And they may be intensified in certain conditions. Now, those triggers, not causes, may include extra financial pressure, enforced time together, a loss of routine outlets such as work, and unnaturally high expectations. Violence in the home has spiked, we know, this year because of the isolation and because of the cover of darkness it appears to afford abusers. And all that will only be intensified further during the Christmas season. We need to get the message out that there are safe places to be and safe people to speak with. If churches are called to be anywhere, it is with those on the margins, for that is where Christ is. But how can we hope to minister to victims of abuse, people who remain so marginal they are often utterly invisible? Well, firstly, we can all make ourselves aware of both diocesan and national guidelines and what is a safe and appropriate response to disclosure of violence in the home when it comes. The right response is itself a means of protecting those who disclose. It is fundamental. Secondly, don't be afraid to tackle the subject in sermons and courses and discussions on social media. People in violent relationships are almost always unable to speak for themselves, and that makes it more beholden upon those of us who have a voice to speak for them. Finally, we must continue to do what many churches traditionally do so well: engage in outreach in schools, in toddler groups, work with community groups, and in so many other ways, building relationships of love and trust. That capacity has been tragically reduced during this pandemic, but it remains the case that such relationships existing now that where they can and built upon when the time comes, relationships built and sustained on trust and respect and love, will reflect and honour the love of God for every human being revealed in the Incarnation. Those relationships we form as Christians in and with our communities will in the end remind those victims of abuse in the home, those who have been made to forget, what love really looks like, what love really sounds like, how love really acts. It will help to remind those victims of abuse in the home, those who have been made to forget, what love really is. Amen.